So if we never learn anything, we're just going to keep going back to the same teacher that taught us how to use AI in the first place. We never learn anything in school, and we never will, because of the fact that AI will simply give us all the answers we need.
Preach, man. Hi, friends and family. Today on Pam and the Purple Couch podcast, we're going to talk about artificial intelligence. That's right. It's not a form of science fiction any longer. Come on back to Pam and the Purple Couch podcast while we talk about artificial intelligence and our society today. So guys, we're going to talk about AI. That's right. Artificial intelligence, augmented intelligence. There's so many different ways we could talk about it. I think the biggest thing I want to first bring to everyone's attention is that artificial intelligence, again, is only as good as the person using the platform. So we have to go back, is that just like back in the day when we were learning how to use computers, okay? I know you don't like me talking about this generational thing, but I went to school when we didn't have desktop computers, okay? It wasn't until my, I want to say 10th grade year, 11th grade year, when the compact computer first came out. And then after that, it was Apple's, the Apple, yes. Yep, but even in the Apple, it wasn't like what you were all considering like the iPad.
Yeah.
It was still H-tab, V-tab, writing screen. Code, yes. Yep. With the color pack that you could get on the back.
And didn't everybody think the internet was like going to be like the new taboo?
Okay, so let me go back.
That was dial-up.
There was no internet then.
No, that's right.
So it wasn't until at least maybe computers came back in junior high. And senior high, that's when all of a sudden AOL.
Yeah. Right. Talking late 90s. Late 90s. Yeah. Yeah.
And what's funny is that the things that you're doing now in Discord, where the server rooms are all set up, that's how it used to be for the chat rooms back in my day. And it wasn't Reels or anything that we have on YouTube now. No. It was WAV files, and somewhere in my 1/4-inch floppy disk saved, 1/4-inch floppy disk, kids don't even know what that means now. I have the original South Park before it was like mass produced.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yes. I was one of those gamers back in the day, and we went to the digital arena because we had LAN party games, which kids don't even know about anymore, but that was mom's gaming. So like we would play games, but all of us would have like 13 computers in one room so we could all play together. Yep. None of this where you can be, like all of your friends in Discord, you've got them all over the country and different countries and different places in the United States. So we've seen the momentum, at least for us. The billboard we put on there, your parents were here before Google. Some of them, So we've seen the change, the generational change, especially for the caregivers and moms and dads that are, raising their grandkids now.
Yep. Yeah, you can even think in terms of artificial intelligence, kind of using that example. So when it first started, when we were using computers, we didn't have bots. We didn't have that automated customer service experience. It was an actual person on the other side that was chatting with you, and you could tell because it was in the moment discussions, as opposed to now it's like, how can I help you? Is this kind of what you're looking for? Which question are you? And it has this standard AI component now.
Correct.
And before you ever get a person, you have to go through this series of AI prompt. And it's for everying now.
Oh,
right?
come on.
From banking to education.
My
to chat
bank
rooms.
gives me PTSD because of the telephone line. If you ever, the office people here will tell you, if they hear Pam and I'm going, oh my gosh, I've got to call the bank. And they're all like, and so when the customer service agent gets on the phone, I acknowledge to them, because think about them. They're in a mass call center. They are, how many calls are you doing a day to get your numbers in? And so when I tell them, I was like, look, I just want to let you know, every time I call you all, my anxiety goes up. So you have given me PTSD to actually call you all because my heart rate increases. I get sweaty. I'm like, oh my gosh, what should be a 15-minute call is going to be a 2-hour call. Yep. I'm going to be transferred 3 or 4 times. And it's going to take me 10 minutes before I even get a live person.
Yep.
Well, now that human touch has been amplified because of artificial intelligence.
Yep.
And we've talked in a previous podcast about how the influence of social media is so vast in our youth today. Not just youth, in the generation of new parents. What we're seeing when we're intaking, think about it, kindergartners from COVID came into the school systems this year. You know, so when we're thinking about that age bracket, and now, you know, the 30-year-old bracket of parents, 30 and 40-year-olds having children, it is a generation that grew up with cell phones, with the internet, with high-speed internet, not dial-up, and with the cloud.
Yep.
So it has been a transition. Well, now what we're seeing is the world of influencers. And we are also seeing all of these influencers now where artificial intelligence can come in and actually be the person.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, I mean, the reason I bring this up is because I am so sickened by where it's shifting our society.
We're letting AI make the content and not ourselves.
Not just make the content, all the way down to now you can't tell. I think you were telling me about a movie that's being constructed that's all AI.
Yes.
Well, even in the reels that are being presented, you don't know if that's a real person or if it's AI.
Well, some sites are managing to put in tags saying, is this AI or uses AI tools?
But not all of them are, and there's no government forms that are right now restricting how we're being told. Now, the reason that that's so important to me is because, oh my
Somebody
goodness.
could lie.
Well, it's not even that, the social impact. So back in the day, we were talking about magazines not too long ago.
Yep.
Well, when people went to magazines for resources, you know, a time of literacy, when we actually went to the bookstore or to the library, when we were reading books, when we were looking at magazines, I was probably 22, 23 years old. I was working for an orthodontist. That's how I was paying my way through college. And I was the queen of doing I should have known then I was going to be working with children. But I was the queen of impressions. And impressions are where they take a mold of your teeth, but you've got to put all that in. And most people get sick or they gag or they throw up because it is a lot in your mouth while they're making the impression. So I was talking to this little young lady. And again, so I'm going back more than 20 years. And this beautiful little girl was talking to me about, well, can I get my teeth bleached? And for us, just like AI coming into technology, this was the time Photoshop was really big. And in the United States, because over in the UK, if you would watch television, it wasn't Photoshopped even on your soap operas. It was real people. When you looked at people, it was real people.
Yes.
Television in the United States came through this entire session of photoshopping where everyone had filters, and when filters came in, and having to explain to little girls that your teeth are not supposed to be stark white.
Right.
That this is natural, that how dense your enamel is in your teeth will take and determine the shade of the enamel on your tooth, and explaining that these superstars were being airbrushed.
Yeah. And, I read somewhere the other day, AI is today's society's call what plastic surgery was years ago.
Yes.
So it's artificial.
Oh my goodness.
It's taking all different shapes into what is reality.
But we are not talking to our kids about reality versus this artificial intelligence.
Yes.
And that's what I really want to talk about today. You know, I know it took us a little bit to get there, but the reality is that you have influencers with the highest rate of suicide because they are out promoting a fake life. Oh, I've got to put this out here, and look how wonderful in this photo. Oh, Manny and I are doing wonderful. Loki and I are great.
Oh, you're talking about filters and making themselves
All
look
of
prettier.
this, not just making them look prettier. That was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, it was filters that were invading our reality. Now it is completely artificial intelligence.
Yes, AI is the filter that is making people look prettier. That's what I'm saying, because AI can make filters.
Oh yes.
So
But we're stepping it up. We're moved beyond the filters. Now it's not just filters. Now I have seen videos where they've put Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, President Trump. They've put people in these videos that aren't there.
What?
And that's when we talk about fake news and getting everyone riled up. Think about it.
Yeah.
It blows my mind because you have to. I like what you were talking about with the tag. And I think that is what we should do. It has to be some form of notice that we're letting our kids know. We're letting the population, and it's not just kids. It's parents. It's, oh, I saw this. I saw, oh my goodness, I watched one and it was someone your grandma's age, okay? That was like, I saw President Donnie up there holding hands with Elon. They've made friends again. And it was all just AI. It was all AI. But to a generation that's not computer savvy or not tech savvy, so I would even go into your great-grandparents or those that didn't go along with the curve, this is real.
They think it's
this
real.
is the law.
Because they don't know how to discern what's fake AI and what's like, how do you tell if something's made by AI?
Correct.
Because some of the time you just got to take blind shots saying that's AI. But then sometimes, here, if I can transition the point real quick over to media in general, sometimes you have people that point out that's made by AI when it's made by a person who just has that as their art style.
Yes.
Sometimes someone can get called out for something they didn't even do just because an AI can replicate it before they can even draw it.
Yeah.
And that's been
critical.
That's been having a problem with just art in general, because people have been pursuing artists away and voice actors away and editors away just because they can have their robot do it, and that's causing people a lot of jobs just because of media that looks somewhat middling.
Well, the next part that comes into is not just the artistic side. Let's look at the content that is being provided. You know, if you see an AI generated video that looks like it's a celebrity or someone that they look up to, and it's their own content, I can tell you, I follow a gentleman in Southern Florida that talks about biomedical treatment, biohacking. And I have seen this man's voice, not his face, but his voice being used for an advertisement, for content that I know he doesn't represent, but it's AI generated. They took his voice and put it on their advertisement.
Yes.
And that's happening more and more.
And that's causing people to lose jobs, because what happened to all the people that made the commercials in the first place?
I'm not even talking about jobs. Jobs are one side effect of this. I'm talking about mental health. The mental health is being bombarded with fake influencers now. All right, families, we'll be right back after this special message. Hi, friends and family. Today I want to talk to you about our Legacy Launchpad. We're going to be teaching our neurodivergent students and neurotypical students how to rug tuft. Why? And what exactly is rug tufting? It is making custom rugs, hand done and delivered by our students. Why did we choose that? Because there is something for every skill set, and we're bringing out their artistic expression while they're enjoying their job. That's right, this goes on a resume. We're building our kids' resumes right from the start. So come on down to the Lair. That's at legacyhighschool.com, and we'll show you what the Legacy Launchpad is up to. See you soon. And now, back to the Purple Couch podcast. So let's say that you trusted, okay, for us, Jordan Peterson.
Yes.
Okay, you know, whether you've disagreed or agreed with some of the things, we both agree that we respect this gentleman. I have heard his voice on diet pill commercials. He wants nothing to do with diet pill commercials.
And that's what I'm saying. You could replicate voices and replicate
100%. But the issue is that if people are not aware that is happening, then they will take it as if it's gold.
Yeah. And you know what's the worst thing? There hasn't been a law saying that you can't use someone else's voice for an advertisement. It's not illegal. You can just use other people's voices for your own content, and without their permission and without them knowing.
So you're hitting on a point that I think you could predict in the future, just like anything else in the past, right? When change happens and there's no laws that govern it, and there are ethical issues, there's ramifications for it, at some point in history, what happens? Enough enough, and somebody's going to call it an action, and that action leads to the law.
Well, how would you call a lawsuit on it?
So one example, not too long ago, I saw Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson advertising for insurance,
yes.
a website for insurance or something like that. And I'm sure anybody that's watching this has seen either him or somebody else saying, oh, so-and-so created this website that can help you with your car insurance and get the lowest thing, blah, blah, blah. But it's not him.
Right.
But here's what's happening. So I'm guessing, I don't know this for sure, but I'm guessing he's making money off of that commercial, even though he didn't have to record it, he didn't have to film it, he didn't have to do anything.
I didn't even think about that.
So
Example, just like using a photo without permission, and if you use it, the next thing you know, you're going to get a bill or an invoice for not having the rights to use it. So it's either you take the photo down or you pay the person.
So here's where it comes, where the laws in the future happen. So let's say it's Pam. Let's say somebody pays Pam today to do that kind of similar AI infomercial for the next big education book in the world.
But then why not just have mom say what the advertisement
Because it's
wants?
faster, it's easier to do, less production time, less cost. All the reasons why AI is using.
But it sounds horrible. It sounds
either way.
It sounds cheap.
Okay,
You
but
might
here
be
comes
right,
the
but it's
thing, though.
easier.
And that's, instead of paying the celebrity, I'll give you an example. The audition sales pitch that your mom was part of yesterday, the entire thing in there was them using a celebrity as their presenter. And then everything else came with that celebrity price tag. But that's all you got was the opening. And the opening could have been artificially,
Anything.
yes, it could have been AI done. It could be AI driven.
So here's where the future law comes in. So let's say the next AI company decides to create a similar advertisement, whatever, but this time they don't talk to that person. They don't pay that person.
They're already doing that.
They are. So once there's enough of that going on,
Which
there's
already has
class
been
action
going on.
lawsuits, there's conversations with government officials, and that's where law starts to get
Well,
created.
something has to, because the reality that we have to look at is that this is hitting young adults, it's hitting new parents, it's hitting the elderly, but it's also hitting kids.
Right.
Because kids are starting to see their role models being, and now let's look at this.
Before you continue, Mom, I just want to say the entire thing about using people's voices without permission for advertisements and stuff is already happening with the mobile game scene, and it's already happening with basically everything that isn't affiliated with Google. And that entire situation, it's already been happening. People are using voices without consent. And I wanted to question, how would you lawsuit that? You can't really say, they're using my voice. No, they're just using something that's very close to your voice.
Exactly. So that goes back to the music industry. They have fought this for years. I played these 3 chords. Now, it's so funny because this is how the law looks at it. Let's think that I have 6 ingredients. I have eggs, I have flour, I have sugar, I got milk, I've got butter. You get what I'm saying? So, and I got a little bit of vanilla.
Yes.
All right? So I have these 6 ingredients. And these 6 ingredients by themselves, everyone can use.
Yes.
But if I mix a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of this and I put it all together, and I get this most amazing creme brulee. Now, that's my trade secret on how I put all of those parts together. What you're saying is 100% correct. The music industry's been fighting it for years. You may play the intro of a riff of a song, like da-da-dun, da-da-dun, but you go da-da-dun, da-da-dun.
Yeah,
now it's different.
Now it's different.
And
that's
I
the
get what
exact-
you're saying.
and
That's exactly what they're doing with AI.
Yeah, because
So-
you can't really lawsuit someone unless they specifically say the character's name.
Correct.
And who they are. You cannot do anything about it.
So this is where I think AI and the whole conversation for me gets, where it hits a home run. So for me, AI is the current topic that blurs the line between what is legal, what is okay to do,
And what's copyright.
and what is legal versus what's morally right.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
when we talk about like the use of images, the use of voice or whatever, you get the idea. That sounds like so-and-so. So why did you do that? And did you ask for permission? And so that's what we're teaching our kids.
Yes.
Hey, you're using AI tools to write an article, to write a letter, but you've done no reading and no research whatsoever. So yeah, you can do it. It's allowed to be done, but is it the right thing to do?
You're not learning anything.
So this is where this gets good, because now let's talk about the neuroscience. Okay, the neuroscience and the biology of what is happening when a child picks up a book, reads the chapter, okay, they're firing, wiring, all of those circuitry in the brain, all of those brain nerves and cells are going da-da-da-da-da-da. And what did we learn? Nerve cells that fire together, wire together. So what are we doing when we're doing this? You're repeating, you're locking down those synapses in the brain because we're reading it, then we're writing it, and then we're formulating our own decision based on what topic matter we're in.
Yeah.
With AI, we're not. We're going to AI and saying, hey.
Type, give me answer.
So you're not retaining any of that information.
Yeah, and you're only really learning is that use AI to fix problem.
So this goes even deeper, though, because let's talk about the curriculum the students have in school. So when we are teaching children in instead of tell, show, do manner, and we're telling them, well, here's this data, memorize it.
Yeah.
Memorize it so you can take a test.
Again,
okay?
that's similar to our episode about how the school education system's been working.
100%.
Because this is exactly something that benefits AI. You can't just memorize something and then just
see, and this is
put
where
it in
I was.
front of a table.
You took everything. That is exactly where I was going, Loki. You just nailed it, which means that. So if I was going to have a hypothesis, this just confirmed the hypothesis is that if we are teaching our students in a manner so that they memorize the information and then dump it once the test has been done, instead of functional learning, I am learning so that I can then learn anything thrown at me, which is the difference in how we teach. Yeah. AI is simply complementing now.
Yeah.
So the side part of this is we see all over these social media reels, you have either people that are a proponent that, okay, AI is a new technology, we should be teaching our children how to use it effectively, but then,
can I take this? I'd like to say, then you get into the feedback loop of, oh, there's a problem, use AI. Oh, there's a different problem, use the same AI. Just type in the different question. And then that inevitably spirals into, oh, I want to create something. Well, I never really got the skills to make any media on my own or have any sense of creativity. So I'll just type it into AI and just let that give it to me. And then our entire lifestyle will be based around AI, and we're not going to have any will to think on our own. We're just going to be doing what we think is best due to what the AI told us because we didn't learn anything. So if we never learn anything, we're just going to keep going back to the same teacher that taught us how to use AI in the first place. We never learn anything in school, and we never will because of the fact that AI will simply give us all the answers we need.
Preach, man. Preach. We are right there with you. That's why I was leaning over to Manny. Moms and dads and caregivers, that was the best summary of this episode right there. What you just heard from Loki is that we have got to get involved in the education and learning system for our kids. Why do we need to do it? Because if we are simply going now to a Google, a Microsoft Bing, because we're not sponsored yet by any of these, we need to give both of them credit. But if you're going into a search bar and you're just typing this information, which now is all generated based on AI, because they all have AI components, and then we're not getting fundamental learning in. And that is the part that we have to step in now so that as a society, we don't lose too much ground too fast where we can't catch up.
Right on.
So, moms and dads, from your couch to ours, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Let us fill your toolbox with all of this amazing knowledge and power so that you can be the best parent and caregiver for your young one or adult in your household. Until next time, we'll see you all soon. Bye.